Hi, this is Rob Polenik from C3 Method. I'm training arms today, so I thought it'd be fun to show a technique that I use on unilateral movements. So I'll be doing this with bicep curls and a tricep press down. However, I'll also do this on lying leg curls or maybe one arm lateral raises with cables. Anything that's a unilateral using one limb than the other. This is a really fun technique. So what I'm doing is a rep drop set. Typically, when you think of a drop set, you're going to think of dropping in weight. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same weight for all of the bouts of effort, but I'm going to be dropping the reps that I'm performing. The reason why I really like this is you can maintain mechanical tension, like the heaviness of the load, throughout the technique, but you also get the benefit of adding more stressful volume. So essentially, you're creating more miserable reps in a shorter period of time. So what I'll do is I have this set up to do some heavy bicep curls on the cable. I usually brace myself here and then I'll grab the handle and do a nice heavy curl. Now with this variation, I'm going to be keeping my elbow slightly in front of my shoulder, and I'm not going to go to a too full of an extension where I would lose tension or put the bicep at risk of a tear when it's getting fatigued. So you might see that as I start to get fatigued, I actually shorten my range of motion. And that's just to keep the muscle safe while I'm also still trying to push it further into stress. So I'll go ahead and show you a set, and I'll probably fast forward when I'm doing my other arm because it's not a great angle, but I want to show you the way in which I set this up. What I'm doing is I'm going to pick a target rep range. So for me today, I'm aiming between 15 to 20 reps on my first bout of effort. So I'm going to do something around 15 to 20 on this arm and then this arm. And then I come back and I'm going to actually aim for half the amount of reps I did on the first bout of effort. So to make the math a little easy, let's say I got 16 the first time on this arm, then I go 16 on this arm, then I'll go 8 and 8, and then I do another half at 4 and 4. So whatever you get the first time, if I get 18, then I'd go 9, and then you can't really do 4.5. So I always challenge myself and round up. So I would go to 5. The exact number of reps you get really doesn't matter, but the idea is you have something to aim for. So let's say the first time I get 16, I come back and I get to 8 and I'm like, oh man, maybe I could do, 1 or 2 more to really drive it into failure. I will. I'll go ahead and do that. But I know 8 is at least a good goal for me to get to. So even if I have to use a little bit of rest pause or, just a little mini break, take a breath and then do a couple more, I try to get to at least that half marker. So again, aim for something on each arm, then half of that, and then half of that. So let's see what it looks like. Okay, so I got 17. That'll be fun doing the math. Good, so I got 17 and 17. I always start with my weaker arm, so that way I can match it on the other side. Now I'll come back and do half. So that would be, if I can do math, that'd be 8.5, so we're gonna round up to go to 9. Good, 9. Now what I'll do sometimes also is if I know I'm maybe going to get past that number, I'll even slow the tempo down just to kind of better match the misery to the rep target. So that's another option. Let me catch 9 on this side now. Good, so I got 9, now half of that will be 4.5, we're gonna round up, we're gonna go 5. And again, I can adjust tempo or do a couple extra if I need. Good, that worked out well. So 5 here. Whew, okay. So that is a drop set, like a rep drop set on biceps. Now I'll show you what I do on triceps. Okay, essentially it's the exact same thing, but I wanted to show you that this is how I actually structure my workout, minus the little chit chat in between, is I love doing supersets for arms, get a massive pump, so it feels really good. So now I'll go ahead and do the same thing, aiming again somewhere between 15 to 20, then halves, then halves. Okay, so I got 20, now we'll match on this side. I might have to turn away from you, so I'll just fast forward it real quick. Okay, so I got 20 on that side, so now I'll come back for half as 10. And again, I can add a couple reps if I needed to, but I can also modify my tempo. If you're gonna slow it down, it's more beneficial to slow down the eccentric, the loaded stretch, but you can also slow down the concentric as well. The idea is just bury the muscle into some misery by the time you get around the rep target. Okay, so I got 10, now we'll catch the other side. Okay, so now the last effort is half of that, which will be 5. And the fun thing I like to do on this as well, if you ever have a rope grip like this and you're doing one arm, is when you're pressing down, if you press down and kind of roll your thumb away from you. So if I'm pressing down and I roll away, it hits more of the inside of the tricep in here, which is really good for like a side tricep pose. Or if you press down and you roll in, that hits more of that horseshoe. So you can also kind of play with where you're putting the stress as well. Okay, I added 2 because I talked a little too much. Let's catch this side. Whew, okay. So that is today, like this is an example of how I would do this. That's one working set in my mind on each arm. So when I do the halves, so say 20, 10, 5, that's all one set. I'll now take 2 3-minute rests, get a drink, do whatever I gotta do, and I'll come back and catch a second and even a third set. So I usually do this for 3 sets, and then I would move on to my other stuff. And then typically the other stuff, I just do heavy straight sets. So if I do a technique where I'm doing higher volume, higher reps in one exercise, when I switch to another exercise, I'll usually do the opposite. So that way I can get as much variety to the stimulus that I'm doing for that muscle for the day. So I thought this would be fun to share. If you give it a try, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. And thank you for watching.